There are movies made to shock you, and then there are movies that are so dangerous they were actually made illegal. We're talking about films so controversial, so taboo, or even just so inconvenient for the powers that be that governments literally made it a crime to watch them. So, what does it really take to get a film banned? Well, let's find out. And that's a really fascinating question, isn't it? Because that line between, shocking art and an actual crime, it's always moving. It totally depends on where you are and, just as importantly, when you are. So in this explainer, we're going to dig into what really pulls the trigger on a ban. We'll look at everything from full-blown moral panic to, the terrifying feeling that you might be watching a genuine crime unfold. Okay, so here's how we're going to tackle this. Think of it like an iceberg. We'll start right at the tip with the stuff you've probably heard of, the legends. Then we're going to go deeper and deeper, layer by layer, into some of the most shocking and truly forbidden corners of film history. All right, first stop, the very top of the iceberg. These are the films that are famous because they were forbidden. I mean, their notoriety is completely wrapped up in the fact that they got banned. You can't tell the story of the movie without telling the story of the controversy. So, to really get this era, you first have to understand the whole video nasty panic that swept the UK. Back in the early 80s, the home video market was brand new. It was basically the Wild West. Anybody could distribute anything. This led to this massive media-fueled panic where these horror tapes with, these crazy titles were blamed for all of society's problems. It got so bad there were actual police raids and court cases over VHS tapes. And I Spit on Your Grave was pretty much public enemy number one. The film's structure is, well, it's intense. You have this long, brutal assault, and then it's followed by an equally brutal step-by-step revenge. Because of that, nobody could agree on what the film was actually about. It was just pure lightning in a bottle for controversy. And this slide just lays out that divide perfectly. On one hand, you had people saying, hey, this is a feminist revenge film. It's about a victim taking back her power in the most intense way possible. But on the other hand, you had people like the legendary critic Roger Ebert, who famously called it, and I quote, a vile bag of garbage, arguing it was just exploiting violence for cheap thrills. That very debate is what made the film a legend. The ban? That was just pouring gasoline on the fire. But here's the crazy part. It wasn't just these obscure, low-budget movies getting caught up in all this. No way. Even huge, mainstream, Oscar-nominated classics like The Exorcist got treated like they were forbidden. Get this. In the UK, the distributor themselves pulled it from video stores for almost 20 years just because they were afraid of getting into legal trouble. These are films we now call masterpieces, but back then, they were officially taboo. Okay, let's go a level deeper now. We're moving into a whole different category. These are films that got banned not just because they were gory, but because authorities genuinely started to worry that the crimes they were seeing on screen were real. And I'm not exaggerating here. This actually happened. The marketing for the 1980 film Cannibal Holocaust, combined with its super raw, found footage style, was so convincing that